In this video, we're going to create a map from scratch with Mappedin. So I'm in the Mappedin dashboard. I can create a new map by clicking this new map tile here under free maps, or by clicking the button in the top right. Once I do, I'm greeted with this selection screen, so I can either choose to upload my own floor plans, or I can use a demo if I want to experiment with mapping and see how the program works. So I'm going to click that just to show you what that looks like. So you can see here I have a demo school that's ready to be mapped. And this is a way you can kind of explore the Mappedin editor without having to upload your own floor plans. I am going to go back to the dashboard. You can see here that the demo was actually saved as a map that we can reference later. So if you make any updates, it will save for you. Though today we want to create our own custom map. So again, I'm going to go to the new map button. If you don't have your own floor plans, you can click this drop down and it'll tell you different ways in which you can get them. You can also, if you have a LiDAR equipped iOS device, you can actually show this QR code. You can scan this and then download an app from our app store that allows you to actually scan your building with a phone. Okay, but we do have floor plans, so I'm going to click I have floor plans. We can either drag and drop or click here to upload them. So I've got a 4-floor building I'm going to map, and I'm just going to select all of them at once. So you're greeted with this screen, and you can see it's loaded all of our floors in. We need to rearrange our floors because they're slightly out of order, so you can do that by dragging these handles here. So I'm going to drag them into view. If you have basement levels and you need your application or your map to respect negative elevations, you can actually drag them into this below ground bucket. And this will give any of your levels that are below ground a negative elevation if you require that. Our building is all above ground though, so I'm just going to drag them all above ground. And we have our elevation set to auto. So essentially, unless you're mapping something with custom elevations like the top floors of a high rise or something like that, where actually elevation starts at say floor 16 or something, you can leave it checked as auto, but if you don't want to use automatic elevation here, you can uncheck it and set your own values if you want. Okay, so I'm going to start by naming my floors. So I'm just going to name them level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to click next. Okay, so now we're going to position our building on the world. This is valuable because it makes our building visible on an outdoor map when we're using the 3D viewer. And it also sets the scale of our building while we're mapping, which is really important because a lot of our geometry has default sizes that are based off of the size that we get in this step. So I'm going to click Start World Position. I'm just going to enter a general area because the maps that I'm uploading are not a real building. So I'm going to click OK. If you have a real address, you can of course enter in the real address. And so I'm going to pick an area up here to reference my map to. And so you can get around the canvas here by left clicking and dragging. If you left click and drag on the map, it will move the map around. And then you can zoom in and out by scrolling or by using the trackpad. So all we have to do here is essentially align the geometry on this map to this footprint. We've got a couple options to help us do this. So if you, by default, it's using the lowest level above ground to align to the outdoors. You can change the level using this drop down here. So for example, if you wanted to use level 2 or something, you could do that. You can adjust the opacity of the map using this slider to help you see the footprint better. And you can change your address here if you entered the wrong one or you want to adjust it. Lastly, if you don't see a footprint for your building, you can open up this option menu here and submit a report, and we will try to add the footprint for you on the outdoors. However, we do have ours here, so I'm going to start aligning this map to the outdoors. So first I'm going to drag this rotate handle to rotate it into place. I'm going to adjust the opacity a little bit so I can see the footprint behind it a little bit better. I'm going to drag to a main corner, and then I'm going to start scaling out using this corner handle here. And so I'm just going to go back and forth until I get it sized as I want to. And I'll up the opacity again to kind of compare, and that looks pretty good to me. If at any point we need to save and exit, we can click Save and Exit in the top left, and that will actually save our progress so we can come back to it later. Right now, though, I'm going to click Complete World Position. Okay, the next step is to align all of our floors together. Some files that you would upload would come already aligned to each other just based on how the line work is done within the file itself. But some files will not be aligned. So essentially, this is the most valuable for when you're setting up things like stairways or elevators that duplicate across all floors. The closer that you align the floors to each other, the better the mapping experience is going to be and the viewing experience. So when you change floors, there's going to be a logical flow from when you change one floor to another. It's not going to look like it's offset compared to another floor below it. Okay, so all of our files are actually aligned perfectly to start because that's how they were created by the architect. But I'm going to simulate one of them being off. So I'm actually just going to drag the handle of the top floor and simulate it being a different file size. So you can see here we've got level 1, which is the bottom level, and then level 2, which is the one above it. So we're always aligning these files in pairs. There's a couple controls here, so you can adjust the opacity of each map. You can adjust whether or not it's visible. Same with the top floor. So I can turn that on and off. And you can lock the floor that's on the bottom, or you can have it align in pairs as you go up the stack. So we're actually going to lock it so that we're always aligning to level 1. And then if we need to change this file on the bottom, then we can switch it here using this drop-down menu. Right now, though, we're basically just going to align everything to the ground floor. Okay, so I'm going to start by dragging this file up to the main corner. And again, just like the previous step, I'm going to use left click to drag the map around, and then scroll to zoom in or trackpad to zoom in and out. So I'm just going to pull this out and just keep finessing it until I feel like I've got it pretty close. And then I can zoom in and I can turn on and off the map above to see if it's matching correctly. For me, this is close enough for the accuracy I need for my building. The closer you get it to align to each other, the better, but it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Okay, so I'm going to click Next Floor. We have to do this for each set of floors, and if you try to complete alignment before all floors are aligned, then it's not going to let you continue. So again, I'm going to simulate this file being a different size, just for the case of this video. It's totally possible that in your case, you can just review the floors and they'll all be aligned automatically. So again, I'm going to align to kind of a strategic corner that makes sense for the building. Then I'm going to zoom out, and I am just going to scale it up and finesse back and forth until I feel like it's close enough. As you can see here, that's pretty good. I think that's as accurate as I need to get it. I'm going to click Next Floor. And then in this example, I'm actually going to change the level that it's aligning to. So I'm going to align it level 4 to level 3 and see how lined up these two top levels are, since they're actually kind of a different size. And I'm just going to adjust it slightly. And you can see here that since I've reviewed each pair of maps, that it says 4 out of 4 is aligned, and I can now continue. And that's it. That's all we need to do to set up our map, and now we're ready to start mapping. And you can see here it's sitting on the outdoors that we did in the world position stage. And if we click through our levels, we can see that it's all lined up fairly well. So now when we add something like an elevator or a stairway, and it duplicates across all of the floors, it'll duplicate in a line all the way up, and and it'll be logical based on each additional floor above it.